lads, give your heart and soul. Run lads, shoot lads, give us all a go. Run lads, shoot lads, you can do it yet. Come on Newport County, oh, bang it in the net.
Hello everybody, and yes, I know it's been far too long, but there's been many reasons for it, but I'm coming back to you with the Taff's word, and this is quite aptly put, catch up, because it is a big catch up. The last time I put out a Taff's word, so much has gone on. Like I said, busy time of my life, moved house, moved jobs, lots of things going on, just haven't really found the time to actually record any of these, but now things are settling down. Hopefully you'll start seeing a bit more content coming from me personally, but thankfully Ollie has kept up with the match previews. I hope you've all been enjoying them. If you haven't been catching them, make sure you catch them, because he does give a good overview of the game coming up. He does evaluate form of both teams, highlights potential areas that we need to watch out for on their team, gives his opinion on how he thinks we're going to go into the game. So yeah, definitely Ollie, he's really doing some good stuff on those previews, so it'd be great if you guys could jump on and watch some of them. Most of you probably already do anyway, but anyway, just saying. Now, so from the last time I would have given a Taff's word, it would have been after we'd start the season particularly well. Now, I haven't really spoken about the dip in form that we've suffered lately, but I brought it back. Flinney, Rowbury, going to get through the lot, and I'm going to try and do it without wasting too much of your time today. So, I'd say the form dipped a little bit, but the one thing, right, there's this one question that really peeves me, and it's a question I've seen asked even before a ball had even been kicked, which is fucking strange. Somebody asked me at half-time during the Oldham game, where are the goals coming from? There's a lot of other questions I'll answer, which a lot of people have asked, but where's the goals coming from has been one that's pissed me off more than anything, because like I said, we signed, I think it's 6 new forwards. I thought, well, maybe you just give them a chance. Thankfully now, Courtney Baker-Richardson and Dom Telford have answered that question of where are the goals coming from. And they've done it pretty spectacularly the last few weeks. Courtney Baker-Richardson's broke onto the scene. He's got a hell of a right foot on him, that boy. And he's going from strength to strength. Dom Telford, hands up, writ him off. I writ him off because he didn't really do an awful lot in the games that he was thrown in at. And that's maybe the problem. He was thrown in rather than given the opportunity to influence. He didn't really get many starts for us, if any, during last season. So I really admire the fact that what he's done is dig in, work hard, and show the manager that he's worthy of a place in that team. And I can't help but think that if that Dom Telford had played for us last season, we'd have gone up. I suppose that really could be on Flinney. If that kind of player was in him, it was his job to bring that player out of him. He knew that player was in him when he signed him, because he wouldn't have signed him otherwise, and Dom Telford wouldn't have been part of 2 promotion teams in 2 years prior to joining us if he wasn't capable of producing what he's produced for us this season now. So Dom Telford firing from all cylinders, and it's great. It's great that we got a striker scoring goals again, because Podge had fallen off the boil a little bit. Whether you could blame the system for that, whether you could blame Podge for that, maybe Podge is dying off a little bit, but for Exeter to take a punt on him on loan, there's got to be something in him, because they would have seen it, and we've been seeing it for years. So I'd like to think Podge may rejoin us in January and not bow out of the club, out of favour. I'd rather see him get back into the team, score some goals for us again, to add more to his Newport County tally, and go out the hero that he is, because for us he is a hero. The cup runs, he is the goal scorer of the cup runs, quite simply. He is the player face behind it, along with Robbie Wilmot, of course, who's the next question. Why did we re-sign Robbie Wilmot? Well, thankfully he's answered his critics really well. Although there's some people who don't watch the games, even if they're at the games, are obviously not watching them, who are still criticising him. And I'm thinking, why? What's the boy got to do to get some fucking recognition from our supporters? I mean, he's played for us for years. He's been part of the 2 greatest Newport County teams I've ever seen. And he's come back in, irrespective of all the flack he's taken from some of our fans, and he's proving them wrong. But yet some of them still got to go out the way. Oh, Wilmot, fuck off. Basically, fuck off. It's doing my head in. You know, the guy, he's played out of position frequently, and he gets slated for that. But when he's out on the wing, he's good. There we go. So you admit he's good when he's played in his position, but you're slagging him off when he's played out of his position. Yeah, figures, don't I? So he's been put into a position of a free role. So Robbie, go out there and be Robbie. And being Robbie has been bloody good for us this season. So I'm really pleased to see him go out there and answer those critics. It's been great. He's having a great season. At the moment, for me, Dom Telford is racing towards him at the moment, but Player of the Year, it's early doors to be talking about that, I know. But if we are looking at a from start to finish sort of overview of what your Player of the Year is going to be, you've got to evaluate it from the start right the way through to the finish. And at the moment, my evaluation is that Robbie is in front of everybody else. There's Robbie. Dom Telford is Courtney Baker-Richardson just behind Dom Telford. I think the defenders have been good. Dimitriou's been good. Dolan hasn't been great. Now, I like Matty Dolan. Matty Dolan's a bloody good guy. He's a bloody good player. And like I said, I'm a big fan of his appointment as captain. But there has been injury issues of Matty's. Maybe that's holding him back a little bit. But he's still the same calm, collected player who can ping a quality ball and play an excellent defensive game. So no doubt at all when he comes back from this injury, he'll bounce back. Absolutely no doubt at all. Like I said, my player of the season last season, he will come stronger. And I say it hasn't been an easy start of the season for him. So I've got to really feel for him on that one. Joe Day, great welcome back to the club. He made some cracking saves for us. Absolutely excellent. But save of the season is obviously Ed Upson. You can laugh about it now. You know, we went and won 1-3 at Bristol Rovers following that 2-2 draw, that abysmal night against Carlisle with the 2 sendings off. Both players are back into contention again. Everyone's saying, oh, but he's out for 3 games because it was straight red. No, read the rules. Straight red is a 1 game, but it's a 2-game extension if it's for violent play. So if it's a bad tackle or if he hits someone, you know, if his violence, he handballed it on the line. It was a handball. The camera angle is pointing from this direction, and when he's got his head like that, he's also got his hand like that, and it's his hand that it hits, not his head. But it looks like from the angle of the camera, it's his head that it hits, but it did hit his hand. He didn't really complain when he was going off. Some of the players tried to contest it because it was contestable, purely because the referee shouldn't have been able to see it through the crowd of players. But I think he just took people's word for, oh, he handballed it. He probably just thought, well, you must have for that kind of protest, so he just decided to. But referees aren't supposed to make decisions based on what other people say. They're supposed to make them on what they see. And that's why VAR's been introduced, because it gives them an extra set of eyes. It gives them the ultimate set of eyes. And thankfully, in the Premier League now, it's actually being used correctly. There's been no VAR controversy, really, is there? So, finally. But anyway, we're going back to Newport County. Fuck the Premier League for now. Yeah. So, Flynn went. The circumstance behind it is still unclear. I felt things would sort of unravel and we'd know why. But nothing has come out yet. So something tells me that something's gone on, which no one wants anybody to know about. Maybe. But at the end of the day, he walked. I was gutted. I really was gutted. I'm not as gutted because of the excitement around the appointment that we've made. Even though he's not a proven manager, I'm going to get on to Robry. But Flynn has created some of my greatest, Newport County memories. I mean, first Wembley, second Wembley, for promotion was probably the number 1. But for me, the number 2 was the Great Escape. The cup runs, the playoffs, You know, I mean, I didn't get to go to Forest Green away, obviously, as none of us did, but that's still a freaking awesome memory as a Newport County fan. You know, Mansfield away, you know, the playoff finals were probably my lowest points as a Newport County, but we got there, and that's the positive to take away from it. What Michael Flynn did for this football club was make us a wholesale name, really. The cup runs have boosted our reputation in world football. We got fans from Brazil, Argentina, Italy, Greece, America. We've got a growing fan base in America. It's great, you know, and no doubt these cup runs have strengthened that reach across the globe for Newport County. So what can I say? It's great. It's absolutely great. And what Flynn did is take a club that no one really liked. Everyone thought, oh, Newport, yeah, it'd be good. So, you know, when they do go out the league, it'll be great to see the back of them. But now that perception has changed. Now, there's one thing to change the fortunes of a football club, but to change everybody's perception of a football club, you know, the world's perception of a football club is something else. You know, you've changed the culture of the football club. You've changed the way people view the football club. And not many people out there can do that. The Great Escape in itself, who can really say they could do that? You know, who could really say they could take that team that he inherited from Graham Wesley, turn them into winners, to win, I mean, freaking 7 out of 12, to turn them into winners, and then take that team, trim the dead wood, bring in the right players, and then eventually 2 seasons later, nearly, or should have, got promoted to League One. So from down the bottom to the fucking top. It just shows, doesn't it? You know, Michael Flynn was a massive, massive success at the football club. And the Flynn era will probably be known as one of the most fondest eras of the football club's history. You had the Edinburgh era, the Holdsworth era, are all great. You know, you got the Beadle era, which was great because of the FAW Premier Cup. But then you're going back to the old Ironsides days, and then you've got the Colin Addison era. You know, well, 2 of them. You had the Ashurst era. The Ashurst era was probably the number 1 for a lot of the old county fans at the moment. But the Flynn era will, for a lot of supporters, you know, new supporters. That's another point. You know, the amount of new fans. I got a point where we're having 1,500 to 2,000 home fans at home, and now it's 3,500 to 4,000. You know, it's more or less doubled, or more than doubled, our home support. You know, season ticket sales have gone through the roof. It's amazing. Shirt sales, we've tied in with the right manufacturer now. They're bringing out shirts that everybody absolutely loves. The culture of the football, everything about the football club is better because of the management of Michael Flynn. There's a lot of things that happen in the background, but it's about how the team performs on the pitch is how that perception is taken. And what Michael Flynn did was change the fortunes on the pitch to create that perception, you know, make Newport County a loved football club by a lot of different areas. So it's great, absolutely great. But as they say, all great things have to come to an end at some point, and we all knew the day would come that Flynn would leave. We all thought it would be to get into a bigger job. Not to say he's not going to get a bigger job, but we didn't think he would just walk from the football club in general. We thought he would leave to join a bigger club. But it doesn't really matter anymore. James Rowbury. Now, another Newport lad, which makes our LA chant easy now. We just changed Flinney to Rowbury, and that's done. Hopefully he doesn't go anytime soon, because I don't want to have that headache of trying to change the lyrics again. You know, because I'd say we temporarily used Flinney was our gaffer, and then it went to Rowbury as our gaffer. So that's what we'll be singing from now on. So Rowbury, youngest ever at each different stage of his coaching badges, which is an achievement in its own. Over 10 years, well, I think it's over 10 years since he did his pro license. So he's been pro license trained for 10 years out there doing the job as a coach. But because you've got a pro license, you're also geared up to work as a manager. He's picked the brains of the likes of Mick McCarthy, Neil Harris, Neil Warnock, of all people. You know, what a great mentor to have as well. And others as well then on top of that at Cardiff during a Premier League time as well. So, you know, he has had the experience and he's got the qualification. And I talked to a few of the players, and every single one of them have said he is up there. He is top level, which is The thing is, right, I know the Amber Army put out a meme the other day calling him the Welsh Mourinho, the tidy one. You know, being Welsh, tidy, yeah, get it, yeah. So the reason why we've compared him to Mourinho is because, not because we think he's as good a manager as Mourinho, but you never know, he might be one day. Everyone's got to start somewhere though. It's very, very similar circumstance. Now, Roby didn't really have much of a playing career, but he went into coaching really young, like Mourinho, and of course, like Brendan Rodgers. So Brendan Rodgers was an understudy to Mourinho and mirrored his progression as a manager. So Roby is coming in the similar type of way to Mourinho. Now, Mourinho he learned his trade at Barcelona, working under, oh bloody hell, he worked under a few managers there. Like, I think he worked under Bobby Robson, I think he worked under Louis van Gaal. There'll be a few others, Koeman, I think he worked under Frank Rijkaard. So he's worked under some real big footballing names. So he then learned his trade, did his coaching badges young, learned his trade, picked the brains of all these managers, and then went off and done his own thing and has become one of the greatest managers of all time. Brendan Rodgers had done it in a very similar way. So, you know, he's like a mini Mourinho, like the Irish Mourinho. Now, Roby is doing it in exactly the same way, which is why he's the Welsh Mourinho. Not because we think he's as good as him at this particular moment, but because of the similarity between his progression from being a coach into management. It's a very, very similar story. So he's the Welsh Mourinho, the tidy one. And yeah, let's just say that I think we've all got to be very excited at what the Roby era has in store for us. I definitely think there's a promotion coming, possibly this season. He has got some great players, and plus we got a board that backs the manager. So if he wants to bring his own in January, he'll have that option. I wouldn't like to see an overhaul in January like last season, because that did trip things up a little bit. I mean, we were quite lucky to get into the playoffs in the end. We got in there, got to the final and got cheated again. I'd like to think that there's no playoffs involved this time and the top three finish beckons for us. So let's just see what kind of stamp he makes on the team. He started in the best possible way. To win away in our derby match is the best possible start you can have. So now, you know, the sky's the limit, really, I think. You know, he started that way. He's going to implement his own tactics. I liked what he said regarding evolution, not revolution. Now, how many times have we seen Newport County revolution? Like after Edinburgh left, it was the Butcher revolution. Then it was the Feeney revolution. Then it was the Wesley January revolution. Flynn came in, and that's how Flynn went. He went with evolution, not revolution, and he was a success. Roby has taken a successful Flynn team and has promised evolution in the same way. So I'd like to think he'll grow that team, and we'll see where he takes us. But I think we're pretty much all caught up now. I've made my mentions about certain players. I'm going to say in midfield, we've got some very exciting loan players. I think Zaz, Kane and Ollie Cooper are all very, very good players. So, you know, I hope we can keep hold of all of them for the season. Obviously, we've got to play them often enough. In our defence, I like Clark. I think he's an excellent defender. I think it's a shame Farquharson's out, because I think he's developing well. You know, there's still some mistakes in the boy, but that will come with consistency, will come with experience. You know, playing the games, learning from your mistakes, because that's the best way of learning. You learn from mistakes more than from a textbook or from, you know, training. Yeah, training teaches you, you know, you drill in training. You get better as a player with your particular skills in training, but it's game time where you'll get the experience of playing in a match and really grow as a football player. So Farquharson, more game time, the better he'll get. And he will be a big player for us. Like Dom Talford's doing great. Like I say, Courtney Baker-Richardson. The good thing is they're all our players then as well. You know, Fisher is like an upgrade on Ryan Taylor, I think. You know, there's pace in him, there's control in him. You know, there's a lot of good things about Fisher in comparison to Taylor. But I hope he doesn't become another Taylor. I quite like Fisher. And then we still got some youngsters like Greenidge, you know, develop and come into the team as well. So no, I think we've spoiled for choice with players for this season. Upson he's been a bit like that now, but start the season straight up there, bang, awesome. But he's having a little bit of a rocky thing. Maybe he set the bar for himself too high by having those good opening performances, but he's the kind of player he'll bounce back from it. We'll be welcoming Bennett back soon, hopefully from injury as well. So yeah, and Courtney Senior we haven't seen at all yet. You know, let's see what Senior brings to the table then as well. There's a lot to look forward to. So let's just go out there and absolutely enjoy it, like, you know. So there we go. Stevenage today. Going to be going to the game, get a good atmosphere going, get the 3 points hopefully, and we'll carry on the Robury winning run. Fucking hell, that's a tongue twister, that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry it's been so long since I've done one of these, but they will come a little bit more often now, okay? So, cheerio. Thanks for now, and as always, up the county. Cheerio. Many thanks for watching the latest content on the Amber Army channel. Please make sure you leave us a like. Make sure you subscribe for more content, both for the neutral football fan and also plenty of Newport County. Even more Newport County content can be found on the club's iFollow channel on the link above. It is just £4.49 per month to subscribe to that service. And those of you feeling extra generous can also support us on Patreon on the link at the bottom there. That would be a monthly donation of your choice. Thank you again, make sure you've subscribed, and as always, up the county.